Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm your host, Peter, otherwise known as Cyberdragon. I'm here today to show part 2 of Deal or No Deal. I started this logic last week on stream and was able to put 26 numbers and 26 values into 26 integers, or variables I should say, and randomized it. Near the end of the stream we did test it and there was a bug, I would call it, and I thought of a solution possibly to fix that, and we're going to continue the logic and see if we can continue making the process of the game. So we need a board to show the dollar values, so when one dollar value is chosen from the case, or whatever you want to call it, the chest, it shows on the board that it's been selected and removed. So we need some sort of visual indicator there. I won't make a custom asset for that. I'll just put some numpads with a indicator with the value, and the indicator can remain there but change the numpad state, animation state, from I'd say from standard gray to red, because they do have animations, just so there's a visual indicator to say, yep, this chest is being picked and this value is no longer in the pool. So we're going to fix that timing issue, not a timing issue but the RNG issue, and I'm going to use a timer to fix that, hopefully. And then we put up a board, and then we do a selection process. So when a player picks between 1 and 26, we want to put the value of whatever number they picked into a side variable to store it, to say this is the case that the player has picked. It will have a value in it, but we won't show the player what the value is, because they have to guess, not kind of guess what's in it, but not know what's in it, so they can either choose to continue playing or accept the offer that's given to them between selection rounds. So we'll go ahead and start that. But that's the thought process behind it. Hope you're all well. Thanks for tuning in. Dell, yes, all hail the golden numpad. Alright, so let's test this out so we can display where we're at. So we've got 26 cases here. I think the show has 22 after I watched an episode earlier today. It may be different in different countries, but we're going to work with 26. It doesn't really matter. And when we press E on this lever, it should start allocating the numbers to the cases. You can see the values at the bottom. That's purely there just for visual purposes, to show that the RNG system is working and allocating numbers to the case. The player, or when I'm finished, you won't be able to see those values. The bottom will be for something else. But you can see the RNG stopped at allocation 17. Now it seems to be randomized when it stops. Sometimes it gets through all 26, sometimes it needs a couple of pressing E's to try again. So we're going to just use a timer event to see if we can push that to 26 each time. So let's go ahead and do that. Open up the rules. You can see our grid board's pretty full. But that doesn't matter for single player games. So we're going to go ahead and fix that if possible. So we're going to go down to, I didn't name any of the rules, so I have to manually look for it. That's why it's always good to label them above, so here, to easily find it in the hierarchy rules. Alright, so when does, so trigger RNG. So trigger RNG is what we're going to use as our timer. So we're going to go ahead and add a variable for time. I think it will work. Will time work? I think it will work. We'll try it out and see what happens. Or just timer. Timer is fine because you can reuse it for something else if it's not being used, so we don't have to create multiples of them. But what we want to do here is time and start timer. And we want to start timer with trigger RNG. And we'll add a timer variable to it. We'll have a duration of 1 second, meaning that each time the trigger RNG is sent, it will send here and start a 1 second timer. So what we're doing here is, where's the trigger RNG? So trigger RNG is here, which also gives a random number to check. And what we'll do here is we will send a value which is try RNG again. So if that second goes to 0, it means that the RNG has stopped. So we're going to send a message try RNG again, and we're going to put just a message. So we're going to send a message try RNG again to trigger RNG. Or maybe we can have a breaker in between. So what we'll do here is we'll do a comparison of numbers, and we'll have try RNG again. And what we want to do is check to see if the total allocated is equals to or greater than 26. Sorry, not equals to, it's just less than. If it's less than 26, we're going to trigger RNG. So we can kind of not need this one anymore. So each time the RNG is sent, it's going to do a timer. If the timer hits 0, it's going to try RNG again. It's going to check to see if the total allocated is 26 or less than 26. If it is, it's going to trigger it again. So hopefully that will get it all the way through. We'll test it out and see if we can get to 26 now without any issues. So go ahead and press E, and we'll watch the allocation, and I'll sip on some tea while this happens. And you can see we've got all the way to 26 now, and RNG has stopped, and all the cases have been allocated. It did not stop this time around. Let's test it one more time, just in case that was a fluke, because the previous version sometimes it got all the way to the end, but not very often. But as you can see, we kind of used a workaround to get past that bug where it stops. And I don't know where the issue might be. There might need to be a gap between when it toggles and rolls again. I'm pretty sure I've got a gap there, but it doesn't matter. We can always work around it. So this worked. And then we can move on to the selection process. Okay, let's try one more time. Another sip of the tea. So you can see it stopped, but the second timer ticked down and then it kicked in again. And it looks like it's going to allocate all 26. There we go. And the RNG system stops. So this is exactly what we wanted. Now we have a complete RNG system that is bug-free, and we're able to allocate to the cases. Next, we want to do a selection of the case. So the player will be able to select one of the cases between 1 and 26. They won't know what the value is. So if they picked case 4, you can see at the bottom case 4 has a value of 1. And if you go to case 1, has the value of 50, but all of that at the bottom won't be seen. So we'll go ahead and remove that at the bottom, as we know it works now, so we don't need to see that. And then we're going to put up a display board for the selection process. So when a player picks a case, it tells you what's in the case and then removes it from the board. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I believe the logic is all there to make it work, so we'll figure it out. Alright, so what we need next is, obviously we need numpads. We'll use the regular numpads for this one because it has the animation to turn green. Maybe the golden one does too. I'll have a look. There's no animations on it because there's no drop down menu. So if we put down this one here, because it has animations, we have an animation drop down menu. So that's what we could use instead, since the golden one was made for optimization. It has no animations on it. Get rid of that bubble, it's annoying. Okay, so basically what we're going to do now is create 26 of these numpads to put up as a board. I probably should bring up the dollar values again. See if I can find it. I used a different one, so it wasn't the actual official one, I don't think. And I didn't save the image. Because the first one is $1 here, isn't it? Let's double check. Yeah, the money is 1. Whereas on the show, it's 10 cents or 1 cent. So we don't have the exact values. You can always change them. I can always change them down a track as well. But for this example, we'll stick to what we did last time. If I can find it. If not, I'll just manually do it. That's not a problem. Not a problem. It's just more tedious work. But we'll get there. Do any of these have indicators? No, but these do, don't they? There's also a message broadcast and toggle. Maybe we could, to make it faster, duplicate these. I don't know if it'll be faster, but we'll try it out anyway. We'll remove the message broadcaster and we'll get rid of the toggle as well. We have the indicators. Again, I don't think these have the visuals, but that doesn't matter. We can work with that. Alright, so the first one we want is, I think it's just 1, 2, 5, something like that. So 1, 5, 10, 15, 25. So 1, 5, 10, 15, 25. We can do that. So this one's already 1. So this one can be 5. Maybe we should snap to grid. That way we can keep them semi-aligned while we're organizing them. So this one will be 10. Okay, this is not snapping exactly. That's alright, we'll fix that up later. 5, 10, 15, 25, I think it was. Okay. Now we do need 13 in one row and 13 in the other to get the value of 26. Then we can probably just kill these off instead of changing the animation, so the dollar values will be missing rather than a visual indicator. In the perfect world, I would probably make a custom asset for this, where you have the values on the board, and you'll have to make 26 different assets with the 26 different numbers. So you're able to toggle the light on and off when it's being selected. So what's after 25? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're up to here. Okay, so we've got 50, 75, 100, 200, 300. Okay, pretty standard. So this one here is 50. This one here is 75. This one here will be 100. And this one here will be 200. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we don't have enough in a row yet. We've got to expand this so there's 4 more. I'm going to squish these in, and I want to see what they look like. So I'm going to go ahead and press tab. And see where the indicators sit with these assets. Alright, you can I can kind of squish them together and just make the asset invisible. I think that would work, and I probably want to see the distance a lot further as well, so I don't have to walk up to it to see the map. So I'll change all that and save it, and I'll quickly put all this together. Okay, edit logic, and the distance visibility was already high. Let's just do 60. 80, let's just see the whole from the whole map, it's not a problem. And we will move these up, and we'll move these so they are pretty much touching each other. Giving us the room to put 4 more underneath. I think we need 4 more. And once I have 13, I can just duplicate the row instead of trying to line up the second row. It's a bit messy, that one. Okay, it's good enough. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, cool. Actually, we don't even need that. We can just go ahead and duplicate the 4 now and put that underneath. I'll leave a gap so I know where I'm up to. So we're up to 200, and that's 13, 12, 11, 10. So this one should be 200. It is. So we're left with 3, 4, 5, and 750. So 300, 400, 500, and 750. So we've got our first row. I will touch those together and I will bring this down to floor level. Something like that. I'm going to go ahead and save that now because we haven't saved since starting. So if that crashed, it would be annoying to start again. And then I'm going to make it invisible. No collisions. And we should be able to see it now, just floating numbers. That could be our visual indicator of what values are left in the cases. Now I have pressed tab. It's just taking a little while to load. Alright, so we can see our values here. And they look pretty good. It is not ideal because you've got the case numbers underneath, but you can still see. And we can change the colors of them too. We should probably do that, right? Let's get a nice color. Should we do a color blue? Hex code for blue. Let's look at a nice color blue that we could use. Let's use deep sky. Or should we use Dodger blue? Dodger blue sounds cool. Alright, so what we'll do here is we'll select all of that. We can't really change the value without color equals hashtag. I think that's what we need. And what I'll do is I will type it in here and then copy paste it so I don't have to do it manually each time. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, wow. Let's try that again. Oh, wait. Oh, that's interesting. It changes the color of the tag. So wait, let me copy and paste it there. I'll do it in a browser tab instead. You won't be able to see this, but interesting discovery. You can change the color of your tags. I don't think it has any mechanical effect. That's pretty cool. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do that for all 13. And you got to see what color it was as well in a tag. That kind of blue. And that way the color is different from the cases and we can visually see it better without it being too confusing. Still a little confusing. You'll have to decorate it properly, but just for the purposes of getting through the logic, we just do it in a ad hoc kind of way. Okay, I'll go ahead and duplicate these, bring it on this side, and we need to check the values of the second row. So we got 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, 50. So we got 1, 5, 10, 1, 5, 10, 25, 50. Okay. 1,000, 5,000. Was it 10,000? Is it just the same but with more zeros? 2550. This is different. Okay. So 1, 5, 10, 25, and 50. Just double checking. Yep, that's all correct. And then we have 75, 100, 200, 300. So 75, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here, 75, 100, 200, 300,000. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll just make sure this is 300,000. Yes, it is. Okay, we're going to move on to the last 4, which is 400, 500, 750, and a million. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 400,000. 500,000. 750. And then 1 million. Okay, I'll go ahead and save that, and then we'll check to see if that's updated appropriately and the colors look good. And if it all works, we'll move on to add in plant behaviors on them, or plant components, I should say, and then go through the selection process. So when you do the rules, so when you load the rule system and it's full, then it takes a while to load in between actions. There's bigger delays. But you can see now we've got our blue board. Not ideal, but just for mechanical purposes, we want to see if we can delete them once they're selected, and then you can always just change that from big numbers to a nice asset with the numbers on it. But you can see how they all pile up when you look away, which is not why we want to use them ideally. All right, next we want to be able to select one of the cases, have that case disappear when it's selected, make sure the player can only select one. So if they quickly press 5 and then 4, it shouldn't allow both. And we want to display what case they picked on the left hand side of the rules, of our UI, or the HUD I should say. And we'll get rid of the case at the bottom. So far so good. Hey Skate Room, how's it going? Thanks for joining. So yeah, you can see it's a bit of a delay between actions when your rule system is full. So if you want to fix that, you just reset the game maker and don't open up the rules, and it will react a bit faster. That's if you don't need to work in the rules for the rest of the session. Yeah, it might be worth doing. So we'll go ahead and add plant to each one. You can see it's taking its time, but it's adding 26 plants. There we go. We can add something to that later. And here we've got a message broadcaster and toggle system. So we already have that set up. So what we could do here is just double check to see if it's interact. Yes, it is. We wanted them all to be toggled off. And we want to toggle it on when the 26 cases have been allocated. So we're going to toggle that off, and we're going to turn it on with turn on case. And we'll add a turn off case as well. Okay. Now we need to have a message get sent out when 26 cases are allocated. So we'll look for that. Where we go, compare check total. So we want to check for 26. So 25. So if the check total allocated equals 25, toggle 25. So we'll go ahead and put one more here. And when it equals 26, we want to start game. Message will send out to start game. Next, we need to make a variable for text, so we can display text in the banner. And we'll keep that global. We'll just call that text. The value can be empty or a space, doesn't matter. As long as we got that variable made. And now we can go ahead and add a rule, which is set text value. And what we can do here is say set text. We'll have it as a message argument, and we want to add a text argument, and we'll create. So we can send a message from a message broadcaster with any value, and that will show on a banner. So what we can do here is add a banner, a game screen, and that will be set text as well, and we can do it for like 2 seconds. And the variable we want to see is the text. We don't need to have a name, and we don't need to send a message on close either. And the text value here should be the message argument. So whatever is sent with the message is what will be displayed. So let's test that out. What we can do here is add a event, and on player join we can have a send banner text. So as soon as a player joins, we'll send a banner text. We'll go ahead and put down a numpad so we can send that message. So we'll have a message argument be sent by here. So here we're going to say send banner text, and what we want to do is send it to the rules, and that is set text, and then we can say whatever we want on the banner. Welcome to sand or no sand, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe meal or no meal. Just so we have a spin-off version of it. Press E to start game. No, actually, Meal or no meal. Game is loading. Please wait. Okay, so the game is loading. Please wait. What we can do here is we can send this message as well, which is trigger RNG. So we can duplicate this one and we can say trigger RNG. So as soon as the player joins, it should do it. I'm going to go ahead and save that and test it. So as soon as we load in, we should see a banner pop up welcoming us, and also our RNG allocating the cases straight away. We'll press tab and try that out. Hey, play game for fun. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Oh, ran out of tea. Time to drink some water. Doing well, thanks. Alright, so there's our banner. Not very appealing. We can always change that, but you can see our allocation is automatic as well. So that way the player doesn't have to action it, but they do need to wait like 10 seconds for the allocation to complete. We can have a loading symbol or something to let them know it's loading. But now the game is complete. I think we need to send a message now to say that the game is complete. Loading. I didn't add that message broadcaster, and we should have something in the middle to say that it's still loading. I'll work that out now. So we'll go to, I think start game was the message, right? So let's duplicate. We're going to edit logic. It's going to be start game. The text we're going to say is game ready. Please select your case. Please select your case. So it will now toggle this on, which is start game. We can go ahead and we can toggle that on with start game just by selecting all of that and then adding it to the turn on. Cool. So when the case is selected, we want to turn all of them off, so that way the player can't select two of them. So we want to turn case off. And I know we added all our, yeah, here we go, we've got toggles. So this is not what we want. I just want to see what this is. Set case value. So that's not what we want either. And I think all of these are, so it says message to send case 1. We haven't really set up the message broadcasters for this, so we need to do that. So we're going to go ahead and copy the word case so I don't have to type that each time. And we need to make sure that each one here is individual. Also need to see if it's just interact, just double checking. Yes, it is. Case 3. And we're going to go ahead and do that for all the cases so the player can select it by pressing E. Alright, case 5. case 6, case 7, we're going to be doing the count into 26 again, it seems. So 26 is our magic number for this game. Case 9, case 10, case 11, and this one is halfway. Alright, case 14, case 15, case 17, case 18, case 19, case 20, case 21, case 22, case 23, case 24, case 25, and a lucky last, our number of the day, case 26. So each time we press E on one of these cases, one of these messages gets sent out. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this message broadcaster. And what we want to do is put all the case numbers here. So when a case is selected, it goes to this message broadcaster, which then sends a message to turn off all the cases. So that way the player can't multiple select, and we can trigger actions in between the selection and the action before we can allow the player to react again. It's just an extra layer of control to stop bugs from happening, or exploits, or breaking the game. And the more control you have over your logic, the less things can go wrong. So we're going to add all 26 here. Thankfully, this is a lot faster than selecting individual assets. Case 18, 19, 20, 21, actually need a word case though, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And we'll say turn off case, and this will be sent to all, and that will be sent to everyone. Alright, cool. I'm going to go ahead and save this, because again, I don't want it to crash after doing all of the tedious message allocations. And then we're going to add the selection of the case to the rules. So if it's case 4, we need to have a message that says you have selected case 4, and then put it into the rules. We also need to remove it from here. So I'll need to probably put a plant on it after it's allocated, something like that. So let's go ahead back into our rules. So we've got total allocated, which is not what we want. We have the case variable for case 3, and the RNG and RNG. Alright, so the case number is what we're after. So when we select case 1, we want to set case 5 as a new variable case value. So we actually want case 5 and its variable to be stored, but we only just want to show the case itself, so we don't need to, actually we do need to store the variable as well, so we probably need a whole bunch of rules for this as well. Or we could use message arguments. If we use a message argument here, we can set the value of, we can set the case number in the HUD on the left to say case 5, case 4, case 6, whatever the case may be, pun intended. And what we could do there is, we can't really assign the value of the case without writing a message for each one. Let me just check to see if that could work. So we want to set number value. Do we want to set number value? I mean, the number value is already there. So if we selected case 6, for instance, the value of case 6 is already set. All we want to do is display that we've picked case 6 on the side here, and get rid of the case 6 that we selected. Okay, that's possible. So what we could do here is we'll add a HUD. And what we can do here is say case selected. So we have case selected, and then we can say your case, which will be, I don't know, we'll put it here for now. I think it just stacks it anyway. And the variable we want to show is a number that is your case and the number value. So the name will be your case, and the value of that will be what do I do there? The type here will be the value only of your case, and we're going to have to set the value, set number value. So case selected, maybe not, maybe it needs to be a message argument. So we can say case, we can say player's case, and we'll have a message argument, which is a number, and the value will be your case, and the value will be a message argument. Set number value, message argument, select number, and it says float. Did I select float by mistake? Did I not do that right? Okay, whatever. Let's try again. Player case selected, add, did I do that by mistake? Number, case, create. Now I can do the message argument. Awesome. Player case selected will also bring up the HUD, which will show your case and a number. Okay, so that works as well. Now we need a message to be sent after each case number is sent. So player case selected, and then have the message argument to show what number I've selected. I could have a message argument here as case. That might actually work, and then have the number of the case underneath. Would that work? The same? And that would probably make things a little simpler. Maybe. I'll leave it as is, just in case. And just have the 26 here. Their individual, what's this one? Allocate number. And trigger RNG, so I'll need to do a whole lot of new ones for this one. A lot of numpads. And it only needs to be triggered once. So message, broadcaster, and if I selected, say, case 1, I can send a message to all, and it will be player case selected, and the player case number will be 1. So when I select case 1, it will turn all the cases off. It will show up on the HUD that I have selected case 1. Now I'm wondering if I did message arguments instead on these and just change the numbers, would that make it easier? Because that way I have the case that's been selected as a single message. It probably would work better. It probably would work better. But when the player is told to select 5 cases after they've selected their case, just say if they selected case 14, I need something to go to a rule system to say they've selected case 14, what was in case 14. And if it has a message argument attached to it, it would probably need to go through another rules to translate what it is before it does a selection, maybe, or maybe it does a comparison. Let me have a quick look. We'll make sure that we can do it efficiently. Because then we can set the number of something using the message argument as a value. I think that would be better. Player case selected. So let's go ahead and delete that. Let's do it this way. we're changing it up a bit, and I think we can figure it out this way. This will be more efficient. We don't need that other message broadcaster either to turn everything off. We can just use something simpler. This may not work and I might have to backtrack, but you know, I think this might work. So once we've selected our case, it needs to be displayed on the left. We need to disable all of them, and then have a banner pop up saying, okay, you have selected your case number, and now you need to choose 5 cases, and they have to choose one by one, and we need to reveal what is in the case that they have chosen, and then delete that from the board in front and have some sort of calculation involved, so we know how much to offer the player as a score after their selection process is completed. Don't know how I'm going to go about that, because I think on the show itself the guy on the phone makes it up based on not just odds but personality of the player as well. So this game might be good for live events, having a host. I might make something of this for the next Builders Challenge, and we can do it live on stream together. Okay, so we have our 26 cases sorted, and we have this now to say turn off case. And we don't need any of this. This was not needed. Whoops. Player case selected. But we have a rule that is setting a number value of the case when player is selected, so we're probably going to change that. Just for this case here, so we can say I only want it to do it once. So if we had a middleman, if we sent this message argument to the rules straight away, it will set case. If we had a true statement, true or false statement, okay, what we can do here is compare numbers, and we can have here player case selected, and we can say if your case is equals to 0, then we can set player case number, and we can set player's case number. Would that work though? Because that message, no, that message argument won't go there. All right, so we need something else. We need this to only do it once, pretty much. We can't do a comparison because we can't carry that message argument over. That's annoying. Because each time to player picks a case, it's going to change a case value. So we need like a true or false, right? We need something that's set up to do this once. And it needs to be directly from pressing E from the case. So the E goes to the rules, but the rules need to carry over the message argument after its true or false statement. Maybe. So if this was already allocated, then it wouldn't work. Maybe we do need a numpad for each one, because otherwise it's going to keep setting the case number of maybe it needs to be individual after all. So if we had case 1, case 2, case 3 for each one, then we can set that number to the rules just once. Because of the set value. So maybe this does need to be individual. Can you send more than one message? Nope, you can only absorb one message. Alright, so we do need to have these duplicate them. I'll bring them over here. We're going to get rid of the indicators. We're going to get rid of the toggles. And we're going to get rid of collisions and make them invisible. And I think this does need to be individuals, unfortunately. So we're back to doing 26 of these again, because there's some weakness in the logic chain for setting the number just once using the same message from each message argument. Doesn't seem to cut it. Because I don't know if you can you can't really carry message arguments and store them in other assets. So that's 6, 7, 8. This is 9. Ten, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, back to counting again, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And that way we can also use them to trigger what we selected here as well. So the individual ones are the way to go. And what we can do here is we can just move these out of the way. We'll make these ones invisible, no collisions, and we'll have these ones visible again. Now when a player presses E on case 1, we have the chance to send a value using these. We did have toggles, so I'm wondering, will the toggles save what I had on it before? Let's have a look. Because it had the numbers displayed and the toggles to turn them off, and I removed them probably too hastily. Yeah, they're all gone, whereas these ones have all the messages. Alright, delete these. It will be faster to change these ones. So duplicate. We'll keep a copy of the originals down here. I was too hasty to delete things in this case. And we're going to have to go ahead and do it one more time. And then I'll save it. So, how's everyone been? You guys are excited for Builders Challenge 2? You got any plans for games, or are you using your old ones or creating something new to meet the criterias? What are you guys up to? Case 8. Case 9. Case 10. Case 11. Case 12. So we're kind of back to, kind of did a whole round robin, round the world kind of event, coming back to the start, putting back the original messages, but we do need to have a message argument on the other ones. So we'll put these case messages on the other broadcasters to send the message to the rule system, and that will save us from needing to have a rule for each one of these again to tell us which one the player has selected. So this time we can use assets instead of the rules with message arguments to save on the rule system board. As the more we put in there, the slower the Game Maker editor responds. Until it's optimized in the future. I think it will improve down the track with Game Maker 0.11 and 0.12. A lot of new interesting things are coming in those Game Maker versions. It's going to be quite exciting. Really good updates. Alright, so we got our, I'm just going to save it here so I don't have to go through any of that again. And we just need to put these case numbers on the invisible ones, and we'll use that to send to the rule system, and that will be it. And then that should work. I don't think we need toggles here. We can, what I'll do here, this time I will hastily delete. Should I? Well, I did save, so we'll get rid of the indicators. We definitely don't need the indicators. We don't need the toggle. We can probably put a plant. And we can delete all of these once the player has selected their first case, so these ones don't have to be an issue down the track. Or we may need to use this later on. I'll leave that here and we'll work that out down the track. So if we do case 1, it's going to send a message to say player case selected, and the case value is 1. This will work because then we can get rid of these other selections or toggle them off, that sort of thing. Whoops, I'll make sure I put them in the right spot. And then this should work, and we can actually use the first messages to delete and interact with the board, and this one here to give us our rules without it clashing. Let's see if this works as intended. It does in my head, so I'm hoping to get that result similar in the Game Maker. And we just need to put these again for each one of these numpads. And I got to press edit logic for each one because we don't have the message displayed in the message broadcaster. So yeah, it would be nice to see all messages send and receive on all the messages, message type of behaviors and components. Bit faster workflow. 10. 11. 12. And once this part is done, we'll do a test, see if the case shows up, and we shouldn't be able to select any more cases. Once that's done, then we can start our spacing of the game when it comes to timing and player actions and displaying those actions. So if the player picks case 15, it will tell you what was in case 15 and go through a cycle to show to see how many cases the player is able to open. So in the first round you can open up like 5 or 6 cases. Once you pick your 6 cases, then it goes through a point accumulation or a point offering to say from what you've eliminated from the pool, this is what you could take. Do you accept this or not? And because it's not using real money or anything like what the show is doing, it's probably not as exciting, but we could do some sort of event where we could give away sand or something like that, and that will be fun. This then becomes relevant. I got good plans for this, guys. Good plans. And if I can get this working properly in the next 2 weeks, then we'll make a show out of it. We can do it every couple of days or every day. A chance to win something. Now this logic I've showed here with the RNG allocation does not only apply to this game. You can have games where there's plenty of different games where you can give random power-ups each time a player levels. Games like Hades and I can't think of it often. Disfigure. There's other games where each time you level up, you can pick between you can pick 1 out of 3 power-ups that are offered to you, and those power-ups are randomized, so you can use this randomization to do that. Battlegrounds in Hearthstone, the card game. Yeah, that all that stuff would use this type of logic and RNG allocation for it to work. Okay, so we've got our cases. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then I'm going to go into rules and get rid of the RNG and the allocation at the bottom, so you can't see what the cases hold, and we will go from there. So we just need to go to our HUD, and we're going to remove these bottom ones. Awesome, and we don't want to see the RNG here. We can go ahead and get rid of that, but we do want to see this total allocated, just so we know that things are working. And once the 26 is allocated, we know it's going to move on to the next bit of logic, and then we should see the banner and have the ability to select the case. Let's test that out. Okay. Welcome to meal or no meal. Game is loading. Please wait. You can see the allocations happening. I'll go ahead and press E in these cases. Nothing's happening. They're all toggled off, so that's all working. And we can see our board. Okay, we've got 26 allocated. Game is ready. Please select your case. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pick case 10. So we have case 10. Can I pick case 9? No, I cannot, because we toggled everything off. So I'm going to make case 10 disappear when it's selected, and that will be removed from the base, but we can see now that our case is number 10. So that all works as intended. Cool. All right. So that's toggled off. And what we need to do now is have a plant that kills it. So we're going to again have to go on to each one. And when case 1 is selected, we want to go ahead and plant that one away. So we're going to select all 26. We're going to go ahead and add a plant. It's going to slowly put in all 26 plants. May as well have some more water. Pretty thirsty today. All right, almost there. It's actually loading quite slow now. Ah, there we go, we got it. Restarting the Game Maker again will make it go faster, but we can live. So case 1, when case 1 is selected, if it's toggled on and we select case 1, that will be sent out, and it will also destroy itself. You won't be able to destroy it unless it's toggled on, and it does send a message to all, so that's good. So we'll go ahead and add that to all of them, and then we can start the part where we can get the player to select 5 or 6 cases to start the next round. As you can see, there's a lot of repetition and patience when it comes to game making, especially complicated stuff. There's a lot of typing the same messages and putting them all on the individual ones one by one, and then when you make a mistake or something doesn't work, you've got to go back and change all 26 or how many you're working with at the time. It's usually quite a large number, but that's all part of the process. Crackneck. Okay. And we need to put this as well on the indicators on the board so we can delete the appropriate value when it's decided or when it's chosen by the player. So that will be the next mechanic I need to add in. So the player picks case 12. We need to display what was in case 12 and then remove that value on the board, and the board needs to know based on the value of the case. So the case is stored somewhere, so we need to like do a check, I think, somewhere to see what the value of case 13 is, or whatever case we've selected, and then delete that value on the board. 14, 16. Did I do 15 here or 14? I said 14, but I actually typed in 15. Okay. 17. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 25, and the last one. 26. Okay, so we got the 26 now that will be deleted. On the actual board itself, like if we selected 26 and 26 had 100,000 in here or 1, we need to know to kill 1. And I can't put case 1 here or case 2. It needs to be kill, like kill between 1 and 26, but it's a different value each time. So kill 1 will happen. So if we selected say 26 and the value of 26 equals 1, it will kill 1. I'm going to go ahead and add those messages in because I think that is going to work out the way I think it will, and then we can add those logics in without needing to come back to these numpads anymore. Kill 3. So these aren't the values, but just the positioning of the order of the numbers. Kill 6. This one's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep, so 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. And 13. Alright, so we're halfway there. And then we just need to have the selection go through the rules to determine which position it should be killing off after the case is selected. That's going to be another tricky one to do, or it may just need a whole bunch of numpads somewhere else, as always. We will work it out. I wonder if that could be a feature down a track where we can select all these numpads and then put a message and just have one number integrate intervals go up on its own. So instead of saying 19, 20, 21, 22, you can just type in kill dot and then say fill in each one with a higher integer than the previous. That will save so much time. Because I find I use this sort of logic chaining and message chaining in a lot of games, where you need to just incrementally add 1 to each one. Uh, 24. 24, 25, and 26. Okay, I'll go ahead and save that. That's really good. That's a lot of the bulk of the tedious stuff out of the way today. So we fixed the RNG system, so it always allocates 26 now. We have set up a board with the numbers at the back, and we have set up So when you select your first case, it disables everything, displays your case up on the left so you know which one you've chosen. And now we're going to test to see if it actually deletes the case after it's selected. So it's no longer a possibility to choose that case. Game is loading, please wait. Alright, we can see our location. The player needs to wait about, what, 10 seconds or so for the game to begin. Maybe you can have an explainer or something to distract the player while it loads up. Game ready, please select your case. Alright, let's select number 10 again. Okay, so our case is 10, and if we press E on the others, it does not allow the player to delete it. Okay. That's so far so good. Now once the cases are selected from the player, then we can have a timer. We can probably even have a banner pop up to say please select your case to eliminate, and then allow the player to pick another case, and also display how many they need to eliminate. So let's go ahead and add that in now. So we can say here number cases left. The first round will be 6, so we do 6, 12, 18. That should do it. So 6 cases. And then what we can do here is we duplicate the HUD. So we don't want to show it at the beginning. And what we can do here is maybe have it at the bottom. And we can display cases left. Something like that. And we'll have the message show cases HUD. Show cases HUD. Alright, that's fine. And if we scroll all the way down to our latest logic, we have here what do we do? So when the player case is selected, what we can do here is we can use the timer again, and we can use the other timer that we made. So we can say player case selected. We will use the timer variable, and then say after 3 seconds we can say we can put this message here, which is show cases HUD, and then after that we could put a message here, send message for show cases HUD, and then we can say toggle I thought we can just toggle cases on. Did we not have that on? On. Turn on cases. Yep, turn on case. So you can go ahead and turn on the case. When the case is selected, so this will allow the player to turn on the next case. And we can go ahead and turn this off here. We don't want to kill them. We'll go ahead and toggle it off for now. We probably do need to kill them, or we probably need to use them. I don't know. I'll figure that out. We'll go ahead and add toggles on them now, and turn them off when the player selects something. We probably need to use their message arguments later on. And we'll just put in HUD, show cases HUD. Okay. I'll go ahead and press save again. And we will put a message to display using that message showcases HUD. And we can say pick a case to eliminate, or just pick a case. Pick 6 cases. We can always tweak this later. But let's see if this works now. If this works now, I'm probably going to leave it for today and we'll finish this off next week. And that will be our last stream we spend doing this one. It should be enough time to complete the rest. We got a big chunk out of this. We just need now to delete what's on the board and have some sort of messaging system where each time I pick one, it knows what the value is of that and then eliminates that on the board and displays on the banner what that value was. Don't know how that's going to work, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Alright, so we're loading into the game. And this loads straight away, the allocation, as soon as the player joins. So you don't really need that much time to load the allocations. It's just about 10 to 15 seconds. And that last one takes a while because it needs to hit that last number exactly. So we got the case number. We'll go ahead and do 22. Yeah, why not? So after a few seconds, it should put at the bottom 6 cases left, and we can pick a case. So we'll pick number 11. So we pick number 11. Oh, I pressed 18, but it got rid of that one. I think maybe there's a message problem there. But yeah, that rhythm is working. So the timing of actions and what's displayed makes sense. So we just got one more real logic thing to fix, and then once that's done, we're pretty much done. Case 19, case 19. What's this one? Case 19, case 18. Did I make a mistake there? It looks like it. So this one's 17, but I got case 18. So where have I made my mistake? Okay, so I got case 16, 16. So I just lost count here by the looks of it. This one's case 17. And here is case 18. So you find mistakes and you work that out as you do tests. This one should be 19 and all good. 19, 19, 19, and this one's 20. Alright, awesome. I think I'm going to leave it here today, chat. Well, not so chat, more watch. But thanks for tuning in. I'll see if I can raid someone else. Give me a moment. See if anyone's there. Oh, whoops. Oh, we got Hoddle. We could raid Hoddle. What do you reckon? Sounds good. I think this will work. Let's try. Yay! Alright guys, thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. Bye bye.